Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I've got the lesson for today's reading. Gonna teach you a couple things and get you ready for the skin I'm in, chapters 10 through 12, and the questions that go with it. But before that, give you a quick view out. I'm recording this. This is April 28th. It's rainy today, so you might hear some rain or some thunder and lightning. You see my cat Otto is very much enjoying the rain. He's curled up right there. It's a perfect day to curl up with a book like the skin I'm in. So hopefully when you're watching this, it's also a good day to curl up and read a book. I think it always is a good day for that. So today I'm going to show you, I'm going to teach you about a word called motif. Motif, M-O-T-I-F, and I'll actually show you on the screen. There's the word, motif. So you guys probably remember Again and Again, the signpost. We would read a book, we'd look for something that comes up again and again. The author keeps mentioning it. Why do they keep mentioning it? There must be some reason. And usually when you figure out why the author's bringing this thing up again and again, you're gonna figure out the theme of the book. They're bringing this up to make a point or to show that the character is learning a lesson. And hopefully we don't need a reminder on this, but theme in a book, when we're talking about the theme of a novel, we're always thinking of the lesson the characters learn, or we could call it the moral of the story. All right, so we're going to use motif to help find a theme in the book we're reading today. But you guys have already kind of done this. So if you think back to when we read Ghost, we loved reading Ghost. There was a lot that kind of stuck with me about it. But one of the things that I remember is when Castle stole the shoes. And he stole those shoes and it kind of like kept eating at him. Was he going to get in trouble for this? Was he not going to get in trouble? Was he going to get caught? And the shoes would come up a few times throughout the book, again and again. And he keeps kind of thinking about what's going to happen there. So the shoes weren't just some random thing that the author decided to put in the book. They were a motif, because the author talked about them often. And then we could use that motif of the shoes to kind of get toward the theme about running from your problems. So he literally ran from his problems in the book when he stole the shoes and ran out of the store. He ran from his father, the problem of his father trying to kill him and his mother, when he, told us about the background of that. So the motif of the shoes, kind of representing like a symbol, running from his problems, came back throughout the book. So that's just kind of an example that I think we can all remember. It might help us look for more motifs in the skin I'm in. So let's do just a little more looking at this. We'll see a definition. What's a motif in a piece of literature? Motif is a recurring object, concept, or structure in a piece of literature. And let's look down a little bit. How do you identify a motif? So motif could be more obvious than a theme because it gets repeated throughout the novel. So it is something the author will bring up again and again. A symbol is often a form of a motif. So, things that symbolize something larger than themselves are going to come up again and again throughout the stories. So in The Skin I'm In, the book is called The Skin I'm In. So we know that appearance and your looks are something that the author is going to talk about in our book. Even when I look at the cover of the book, and you guys have this on the PDF version as well, like the text version on the computer, you see, someone's face really big, a close-up right on the front. That's just another way the author's showing us that appearances are going to be a motif in this book. They're going to be something that comes up all throughout this book. So after you read, or as you read, you're going to look for some times that appearances are brought up in the book. It could be the way someone dresses. We know Malika talks about that. It could be the way someone does their hair. It could be the way someone just looks in general, like the way they, look when they're born. I'm not going to give you too many examples because actually what you're going to be doing is you've got a couple questions, one about a theme, one about a motif, but then let's read this part together because this is the more complicated part of the work. Try to hold that still. One motif that comes up often in The Skin I'm In is appearances. Throughout the book, the author makes a point of mentioning how the characters look and dress and how the characters, especially Malika, feel about their appearances. You need to find 2 pieces of text evidence from the book that show the motif of appearances. So I want you to go through the book. They don't have to be just from the chapters we read today, but they can be from any time in the book, and figure out or list the text evidence. Use a direct quote from the book, the page number, you want to include the author's name, and show some times where they're talking about appearances. You've got a lot of different characters you could talk about. It doesn't just have to be about Malika. So you'll find some about Malika, but you could also talk about Miss Saunders, or you could talk about Charlize, or John, or any of the other characters in the book. Then your last question is going to be, motif is often related to the theme of a novel. Based on the motif of appearances, what do you think the theme of The Skin I'm In might be? So you're kind of saying if one motif is appearances, then what lesson might Malika learn by the end of the book about appearances? You can, I think on this one you're going to make an educated guess. We don't necessarily know the theme of the story yet, but you can kind of be a detective. You can put together clues about what they're saying about appearances to decide or make a prediction about what that theme might be. So 2 multiple choice questions and then a couple written answers about theme and motif. And then when you're done, you can look like that guy and take a nap. Good luck.